Part 2. Hey, Colo, turn it up. Like a movie. Yeah. Okay, now you got an idol's mind. You was at the devil's playground. On a sliding board going down. You got an idol's mind. You was at the devil's playground. You just wanna swing around. You got an idol's mind. You was at the devil's playground. A place you shouldn't hang around. Okay, now you got an idol's mind. You was at the devil's playground. And you scream my name, say it loud. We want to swing that. On the sliding boards, way on the monkey bars, you riding horse, like just like a merry-go-round, and I'm short. They got dizzy from all the girls I adore. I keep thinking about stupid that shit, but I'm bored. What's the truth? Can you tell me what you lying for? Trying to do everything by the books and by the board. That ain't reasons for you to blame the pilot for. Don't go all your bullshit on me. Projectors, don't go on me, projectors. I'm not something you could project on. You just a devil in a disguise, and I was dead on. No end of a pencil, like imbecile, you just was led on. Following past the hill, and that's something you can bet on. Okay, now you got an idol's mind. You was at the devil's playground. On a sliding board going down. You got an idol's mind. You was at the devil's playground. You just wanna swing around. You got an idol's mind. You was at the devil's playground. But you shouldn't hang around. Okay, now you got an idol's mind. You was at the devil's playground. And you scream my name, say it loud. We win the sandbox on a jungle gym. Everything you fucking said was a gem. Wasn't smart at all, and you need to come again. Gotta look down because Pilotman a brother, man. Yeah, yeah. Okay, now you got an idol's mind. You was at the devil's playground. On a sliding board going down. You got an idol's mind. You was at the devil's playground. You just wanna swing around. You got an idol's mind. You was at the devil's playground. A place you shouldn't hang around. Okay, now you got an idol's mind. You was at the devil's playground. And you scream my name, say it loud.
Real shit. Get the whole world happy. Get the whole world cheering to get out the devil's playground. Get out the devil's playground right now. I'm sad, so you can be somewhere healthy in your mind. You can leave that esoteric battleground, go over there where we made a little park at and stuff like that, swing on the monkey bars, you know what I'm saying, on the grain vines and stuff, and get your relationships right when you're on that seesaw. You know what I'm saying? Then you come back to the like war grounds over the Heavenly Fire Council and stuff like that, then everything gonna get direct, everything get clear. Strict clairvoyance. Anything you was cloggy, bringing toxic, get burnt up, get extracted. You know what I'm saying? Get eradicated. Shit. Esoteric evaporation, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I hope you, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go to the, hey, I hope Lucy. And then that could be the soul representation of it, the moon, because the moon is actually the soul. Not your soul. Somebody trying to tell you in English language knows the soul representation of gay or yeha. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gay heat. You know what I'm saying? I could be that and be the heat with the feeder. And then for the most part, boom, then once it go to the, you get the reflection at nighttime and stuff, you can see the reflection of the atmosphere, or the soul, or the whole, or something that, you know, creates a moan. You know what I'm saying? And then once it reaches inner space, it go to whole hue, and then it could be, you know what I'm saying, soul, or it could be lu, or it could be luna. You know what I'm saying? It could be sona. You know what I'm saying? Grandma Monita. Hello, brother, that. Midi do, Monita. Hello, brother, that bitch. Now, check this out. What we get ready to get into right now is help everybody understand. Basically, even when you speak in English over here, you still speaking a lot of Native American words and shit like that, mainly Algonquian. So English is bastardized Algonquian Native American language and things of that nature. And then when you get subsidiaries of that, it's just dealing with whatever tribe was dealing with a damn colonist or some shit like that. Once you start getting into the Iroquois and all this other, you know what I'm saying, is dealing with a bunch of foreigners and shit. But when you start to understand things and its natural quality, then you'll be able to see that ain't nobody come from a boat and no shit. They had to learn things, and then they get helped. And then when you get people try to come in some authority, here's where you get words being plagiarized and any type of template in your mind when you get into literary history and trying to figure out if you from a continent and your language got destroyed and stuff like that. So you're in the middle. If you're on American soil, you're in the middle of Native American genocide. So for the most part, you're able to see a clear representation of what have already probably happened to you if you was within another continent. And I don't know how y'all coming up with y'all shit and things of that nature, but for the most part, just getting you a step to see how you might be clinging on to something and don't know the starting point or the nuance behind it being plagiarized, what it means for words to be taken, changed around, and for someone to replace it with their own meaning that don't have anything to do with tax dollars or something like that. And then therefore, this help you understand why I say the English language itself is a hellbound language, such as even the certain Arab languages and stuff. Wherever there's colonization, you have a hellbound language, and you get put on a plantation planet, aka you think that little small bubble you in is the whole world. Whatever white general is controlling you at the moment due to the fact of colonization. Pardon me. So keep that in mind also when you start to understand these things. So when you're on American soil, you're getting this spiritual culture and things getting colonized, not just the land, the culture. You know what I'm saying? So here's how you get spiritual systems. If a person is in a writing down system first, then that ain't even always true, because everybody had their own writing systems. We had our own writing system too, but you're coming from more of a perspective of that's your intelligence, not you already having something to offer. So not you really bringing something, you taking something or remixing it or replacing it. So those who spoke more of oral tradition is more intact with the natural culture and the energy behind it. And those who speaking within writing something down and talking about it is the observer, not necessarily the ones who actually experienced it, not necessarily even the holy ones when we get into the Holy Bible, to help you understand. Even when we're utilizing terms like holy, holy is the Native American term for light and things of that nature. So you have to keep that in mind too. So that's why I always tell y'all how, hey, how, ho, you, he, but it's really, hey, how, ho, Huey, if you want to talk about it, be it specifically, and then it could be that light or the skria. So for the most part, it's just talking about something that's east, north, west, south, and southeast. It's just talking about things dealing with that kind of concept of that type of light density energy being able to fulfill all those directions. If something coming from the ground, it may start from me. So y'all been know I've been telling y'all for years. You know, hey, east, high, ho, hue, ho, west, southwest, hue, and then southeast, he. And that's the 5-pointed being. That's the holy. And when they make a full cycle, it's the return of that holy, the return of holy. So that'd be the real new year. So what y'all calling like Aries or Falcon and things of that nature. Anytime there's a birth or a new year, right? Giizis is back. So that'd be the energy above. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. And as below, that'd be yay high and we'll be yay ye because we're beneath. So ye going down below, ye. But that yah, anything coming from the sky be yah. But anything coming from the east, hey. So you suck in, you got your own internal hey. So I will actually be the vibrational sound of a E. You know what I'm saying? Or yay. Or things of that nature. So instead of saying I, you'll say yay in my language and things of that nature. So you see what I'm saying? So it'd be like, hey, how, ho, you, he. And then we break down consonants based on, and it's only really 9 dimensions. So 9 dimensions is the layers of the consonants that condense in reality, and we can see the physical natures of it. So it'll be the inner and outer vibrational energy you push out with your tongue. So you know what I'm saying? That'll be ah, like how I tell y'all. Then that'll be pa, ta, ka, cha, na, ma, ya, sa. You know what I'm saying? So then when you take that, we know what we pointing at based upon what make those vibrational sounds. And then we point at based upon the direction it come from. So if a tree come from a ground, you know what I'm saying? We know it's ye, but then the sound would make so that'd be that. And then you do ki. So ki, k, ka, ko, q. You know what I'm saying? Ye, ya, yo, you, ye. Te, ta, to, tu, ti. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta look at it like that. Pa, ta, ka, cha, na, ma, ya, sa. So say, sa, so, su, si. K, ka, ko, ku, ki. See what I'm saying? Pay, pa, po, pu, pi. You know what I'm saying? So it's getting you in the feet. So how you understand if I'm pointing at what English man turned and said, we're going to bring fire from the sky, still in our language, fita. You understand fita come from the ground if we burning it. So it's the heat, but is it a fee? From the sound, so that'd be the pa, but then you add the he, so you add the fee, and then for the most part, what does fire do? Rise, fee, ta, fee, ta. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, white man will come and take that and be like, well, oh, this is what y'all call fire. Oh, we gonna bring fire from the sky. We gonna bring fita from the sky and call it fire. You know what I'm saying? That was how they used to say it, but really now it turned into fire, hard. What they terminology in there, bringing things over here. You see what I'm saying? So I help y'all understand how things get mixed. So you get lost in someone who came after the fact, not knowing that the letter J came after the fact, or who the author of the letter J. Who had to practice first, right? So if they got a letter J, but it's supposed to have a whole different practice. How is they practice just like my practices? How is they practice just like my people's practices? That's why a lot of times when y'all be watching me, y'all be thinking, oh, Dolo, a Mason or something. No, that's what I'm trying to teach y'all every day. It's white man copying. You know what I'm saying? It's copying. Uriel's is another concept of coming over the water, the water's the woo. You know what I'm saying? Or you could be a form of the water, the weon. So we call it a woman. So we got weon. You know what I'm saying? Man, woman. But for the most part, I'm helping you understand the dialect, the tongue. If you over here, the people who got the tongue and the phenotype always gonna have more common sense of anything. You can't get past nothing. It don't matter the century, the decade, nothing. It don't even, you see what I'm saying? So when y'all say Jesus, it come from their concept of when they was coming over here trying to say Jesus, and we're saying Giizis and things of that nature, and taking our culture and remixing it with the Jesuits. So we get this letter J, V, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. Our letters is not even the same as their letters, but for the most part, it's signs and symbols, all the way to the point you can make hand gestures and shit. So they took our hand gestures, our hands, the way we shook hands for peace treaties, the broken arrow and things of that nature, and created a whole government around it. Just called it masonry. You know what I'm saying, and things of that. But at the same time, you just got to understand the starting point before you get lost into arguing for or against what's Jesus or what's not Jesus or what's God. God is a plagiarized concept of the Great Spirit, the Great Holy, the Great Space. You know what I'm saying? Then they condense and become the Great Father in the flesh. And then we play out emanations down here as yea as yahs, not gods, yea as yahs. We are ye versions of that yea yah, right? So it go Yehovah based upon it starts from the east, ends at the west, but that middle TP, middle state, Yah, is the two blending of those two equilibrium energies from the feminine. You know what I'm saying? So it's going from the Yahweh to the Fama Wahan. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be this less dense condensing to actual man, less dense condensing to actual woman, and things of that nature. And it's just telling you the point that it has to tell us where all of our center is at. So that'd be the Hainu or this, that part, Hasuni. You know what I'm saying? Or Hasuchi. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be Ha going to the west, then becoming noon, evening, and things of that nature. To help you understand, words supposed to point to something in nature, and nature is a representation of one piece of the Great Spirit. And then we're all practitioners of each piece. So we give praise to each piece, the holy people, the holy ones that's stationary in all these areas that condense and become us also down here, emanating that light ray down here, being the sons. You see what I'm saying? And daughters of the seas. So we have the retraction of seeing where things coming from to be able to emanate and stationary a new atmosphere there. Father breath, masculine, feminine, the womb, the egg cell, the land, and things of that nature. So you have to look at it within the concept of you're basing things on directions internally for it to even be directions outwardly. For that's another form of tapped in. Then each direction allows you to have an experience to develop an awareness that condense and become a sound, a vowel. And then the consonant come from what's actually already condensed from that in nature, or the sound you could possibly best represent that's going to match that in nature. And then for the most part, this is calling on the spirit, the Great Spirit. This is how you're able to be tapped in and understand the cycle and the characteristics and play out these holy natures and be able to represent it for yourself. But also what you're speaking is just not you lost in your mind. And then when someone asks you, what is you talking about when you say Jesus? What is you talking about when you say God? You're lost in the English language and man creating a plagiarized concept of Native American languages and trying to play God. So you get lost in somebody's mind and you're just using it to help you with your moral systems, not knowing what these things actually point to a reality, which is why y'all still questioning the Great Spirit. You still questioning the holy ones. Yet you know you're having experiences you can't explain due to the fact of your limited comprehension in your language. You see what I'm saying? So these is things that get you to hell first before anything that y'all start to justify and cope, like money and all. These things get plucked from the world way after the internal energies go right or wrong, get justified, then create a manuscript based upon the external world. And then it can be seen if it's negative or positive. And then once y'all in layers of that, then y'all in these things of deciding if your internal world is right or not, which is completely already in hell. Y'all say you're completely already in hell. So that's putting you underneath the 8, because it's only like 9 dimensions. So when you think about it like this, right, you're the spirit. And we're supposed to emanate these vibrations. So when you become the 8-pointed star, you're already a spirit. Then you emanate a form around you. That's the 7. And then you got 6 directions. Forward, back, you know what I'm saying? Left, right, down, up. And then you got the diagonal points. But for the most part, that's just blending in. So we can even create the R term or whatever the case may be. So as you being a spirit, then also you're going through the 9 dimensions. Like other hey, hi, ho, hu, he. Right? That's just you getting ready to emanate a 5-pointed being. Then you create the ah. Now you got the light around you. And then you got the direction. Right? The pa, ta, ka, sa. Hold on, wait. The pa, ta, ka, cha, na, ma, sa, ya. See what I'm saying? So these is the actual expressing you being an 8-pointed being. And then what you create around you, you took your own subjective holy that emanated, and then that created the 8, and then you had that 6 directions, you being a spirit, 8, 7, that first light that spread it out with the 7 directions, right? Then for the most part, you express that as like a vibration and things of that nature to let you know that that's where it's condensing from the 9 dimensions in this thing. So it helps you understand what's actually going on in the internal world, and then you take your own emanation and relate that with the holy version of that. So it have a blended. So it's almost like you're creating a realm of reality. So you're getting out your own or understanding your own, right? Like a space, a spirit. So then you're about to create 9. But first spirit, then you reacting to that. First creating that awareness. So now it's simultaneous, but you internal. That's 8. So now you're understanding your cycles. Now you're getting ready to understand as a spirit, that could be a form, that light itself emanating from that 8 space. And then for the most part, you got 6 directions that light spread out in. Right? And then that's you taking your holy, and then you give it out into the holy holies. And then for the most part, that'll be the you coming from your 5-pointed being, hey, hi, ho, hu, he, and then you doing a pa, ta, ka, cha, sa, ya, na, ma, right? Ah, ya, na, na, ah. I'm saying that boom, and then boom, it go out, and then boom, you create the 9th dimension concept. That's how you create the 9th dimension concept, having full wisdom of the process and the mechanism procedure of you being a spirit, creating the atom, and then you jumping into it and blowing it up. So you become an individual, 1 dimension. Dualistic, no, there's other individualistic things around you. 3rd dimension, that creates a surrounding. 4th dimension, create another synthetic, the actual way to do it, the natural way of creating another version of that to see where that's going, to see where your individuality is being dual in that surrounding, what direction is that going. So you're creating another bubble about it that your spirit could jump in. Another mind, then it has another version. Get ready to go to 3. You start to react to that. Then that's 5, 5th dimension. Then that creates another 3, 6th dimension. Now you have full perception, a body to see how your physical body, or this how you perceive where your physical body or your mental body can go. Right? So 1, 2, and 3 can get looked at by 4, 5, and 6. And then now you built that up to become an atmosphere being. The masculine, 7th dimension, the 8th dimension, how you react and respond. Now you went back to a form when it was no form. 8, now you understand you got a form of cycles now, and now you got 2 bodies. less dense condense into a physical dense to get ready to be a ninth dimensional body, aka an atmospherical person. The spirit, ninth dimension, masculine, feminine, eighth, feminine, seventh dimension, masculine. You know what I'm saying? And you built that whole concept. So you can look at it like that. Spirit 0. You built the whole atom. Masculine 1, feminine 2. You built the body in your environment. And then you got the holy, holy environment that you in. Teamwork makes the dream work. And you get messages from the holy, holy, holies to know how to make that more relatable with relativity so relations can be better. And then therefore, boom, you get that little whole body. And then for the most part, then you do that again. This is how we build organs and shit. You create a thought about that, about your individuality, your dualistic natures and your surroundings, and then you create a masculine thought about that, a feminine emotion, reaction, right? So you can contain it. So tension span builds lifespan, longer lifetimes, longer thought processes, better ways, ins and outs, and possibilities of negatives and positives will make it be more positive for you. What's good for you may not be good for someone else. And then boom, that become your mental body. You know what I'm saying? What they call a lucify. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. Because it ain't start from the ground. It started from your mind. So, but then it had to start from the yay, but then you only got the good comprehension of it from the whole. You know what I'm saying? So anytime white man plagiarized whole, they're really calling our God a female because it gave matriarchy energy. It really wasn't like how they trying to say it is, and call people a hoe. So when you calling people a hoe, it really, we greet people with ha-ho or hey ho. If I'm greeting you, it'll be hey, and taking my east outside of me and giving it to you, pushing my presence so you could pay attention, and I'm greeting you, hey ho. If I'm saying ha-ho, it's us being at a communion and us being up under one idea at the moment. Whether we having a party, we dancing at the moment, we all together, and it ain't a greeting, but it's an assurance. You know what I'm saying? A reminder, ha-ho, or whatever the case may be. I already greeted you today, hey ho. We already around each other, we know it, but I might need you to do something for me. So that's when I say ha-ho. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand what's going on and how they be creating these cars and shit and towels and shit and taking and it. If you don't understand other, like, let's say you got colonized so long ago on your continent, you won't even know where to start if you ain't attached to your language still. To compare and contrast what's plagiarized or not, what was taken or not, how deep it go of witchcraft and what it means to put spirits in hell and what other spirits came up with to get out of hell and all that nuance. This is the nuance behind it. You know what I'm saying? Not what y'all lost in for people to already get certain witchcraft done and to have a whole bunch of other foreigners already sold up in it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, when we talk about Giizis, it's not even this necessarily talking about spring, but it's the essence that create new beginnings. So you got a beginning. We can see a new baby being born. We can see a tree. And then we have a holy, holy version of that. There could be a new year, a new time we only see at this part of distance and position when we're seeing this traveling throughout the year and stuff like that. Then we have a holy, holy, holy message that the Great Spirit teaches us how to construct that in the first place or keep that counsel intact. And then that lets you know how we're making the Theta in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And we all making our Makkah. So that help you understand anything that you're pointing at, it has a direction internally and it has an external representation because it's a teamwork makes the dream work. So we all are able to be aware of us doing the same thing. Teamwork makes the dream work. We're just all doing it in our own way. So then what we do is how we do it. So if everybody can maintain their own way of doing something, you might come up with a name of the sun. I might come up with a name of the sun. We're supposed to already have the internal language where we understand with each other. Not no foreigner coming and saying we had different languages. No, I understand you're making it based upon what we already mentally construct our language on. Hey, how, ho, you, he. And you're talking about it based upon the direction from your specific land and tribe. If I'm west to you, my name of the sun going to be slightly different than you, just slightly based upon the atmosphere and the water running. But when we say it, we know exactly what we pointing to when we say these different words, because we really ain't really adding words to something that ain't supposed to have a word. We're giving praise to how something moves, and it can move a whole different way next time that we have to have a whole different reaction, whole different vibration that has to have a whole different word and even a consonant added to it. So we're changing with the time, and that never allows our spirit to be trapped. You see what I'm saying? That's why even when you call yourself a name, the name has to have a meaning behind what you do. And the moment you change, for an example, if you would have came onto these lands earlier, and let's say we came up with the term general, that would have been somebody's name just for that time. And whoever played that role again, they would take that name. But that ain't an actual name. We take it to the grave, like how they got on y'all social security cards and things of that nature. And when you act up in poorly ways, you get a bashful name. But that your spirit is just wearing things mentally and physically in the land. Not necessarily you supposed to worship these things like idols and shit like that. You have to move with God. So if you know God language, you can move with God without even speaking. And the word come out and go into the air box anyway. A lot of these things not supposed to be written down on paper. So you have to understand what's actually going on when it comes to witchcraft itself. The piece of paper is a form of witchcraft. You're condensed in a thought form based upon what a piece of paper have told you. So the mail is a form of witchcraft. You see what I'm saying? The mail itself. We don't even call men male, but they call the mail something that they want to call in practicing our type of witchcraft, calling stuff in our inside ourselves first before we call it outwardly, because that's the closest way to be with the layer of God, with the holy piercing through reality. And then they plagiarize it and create external technology. And back in the day, since there wasn't no electricity, technology was like pieces of paper and shit, and taking over somebody's land and taking their minerals and creating manipulation around, making a person work for their own land for a person who's doing manipulation. Yeah, so this is the first witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta see you gotta understand what's actually going on when it comes into. You can get into certain books and put it on how it's made. And the starting point, you're not looking at the author. You're looking at the context like it's the end all and be all. So this is why y'all believe in NASA so much and stuff like that. And you're not knowing that you're going to hell just because you just talking the English language and you don't have no comprehension. Now, if you got comprehension, you gotta have a little grace, more grace than little. But if you don't know no better, you still gonna have some grace, but it take a lot of turmoil. And a lot of y'all go through that physically. Y'all say things, act out things that thinking ain't got nothing to do with these words, that put your mind in a certain frame to even attract these things and go out and and be motivated to do these things that put you in stress in the first place. And you don't think that got nothing to do with before you die. That's the mental form you in. That the white man got that from Native Americans, how to switch things up and put people in hell. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to teach y'all the natural qualities of what it means to actually go to hell, and you be lost in your own mind, and you have to realize you was mistaken based upon a self-desire, and that self-desire could have been manipulated outwardly to make you think that it was justified as something good to do. You know what I'm saying? And then you're getting these type of energies, and now you're in a position like a rapper. Now you're in a position like an actor or actress or something like that. And then, you know, you sold your soul for something less. And then you got taught that selling your soul don't mean anything, right? Your spirit is your space. Anytime you jump into a situation where you expect it based upon terms and agreements to do something, and then you're going to reach those spiritual moments that you don't feel like you want to fulfill those purposes. And then if you feel like you fulfilling purposes and you're not getting the value from what that purpose is expected and things of that nature, all right, that's you sold what your ability of your spirit has to do. Your spirit create thoughts and feelings. That's natural. And then it bends in and become our actions. When you're a powerful spirit, you know how to create creative thoughts and feelings that bend in and make people pay attention to your actions other than someone else's actions who may be in the same world as you or something like that. When your spirit get bind up and have that quality used for something other than you, especially for someone else who ain't even creative that way or have nothing to do with you, okay, you sold your soul. It's not like a prostitute gonna sell her pussy and she take her pussy and give it away and say, I'm gonna come back and get it when you're done, right? And it ain't like when you lose your ligament and you sell your hand or whatever the case may be, you ain't still you. So your spirit is always you. You sold the ability your spirit have, the ability that it has to think and feel and to produce actions, to produce through organs that we create from the same process. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it means to sell your soul. Because y'all be thinking y'all soul get lost in the white man not believing in these things, and you think your soul is the mind. So you think your mind is a collection of thoughts and feelings, yet you are experiencing thoughts and feelings and actions, right? So what's the thing experiencing these things coming and going? So when you think you are the thing that's coming and going, this how your spirit look like it's coming and going, and you live backwards. Physically in reality, you look like you just coming and going, and you just walk in contradiction. Don't know if you coming and going at that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go to work, but you got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to work because you know you got to get paid, but you got to do some shit you don't want to do. So you don't know if you coming or going. You going to a place you don't want to go, but it's something that's there that you won't. You don't know if you coming or going. You're walking an oxymoron. You're not creating a situation for yourself to make whatever, how that was created, applicable in the first place. Then you sit back and realize that wouldn't even be there without my labor. Do you understand that? So you either have motherfuckers work with you, or your spirit can't bear being taken advantage of and going to hell after the fact, no, regardless of what was promised to you, that you ain't gonna be able to take with you anyway. You see what I'm saying? Now, that's real spirituality. Other than that, this is how other people can take other people's cultures to not do something in their own land at a certain time, create a whole synthetic system they only could win in, and then pick a day that they the only ones who don't have to work on that Sabbath day. You know what I'm saying? But they still a Native American shit. It's things we just didn't do on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Or the day before the point of return of Giza. You know what I'm saying? Or Giizis. So for the most part, Giza, or Yehaho, Hui, or Luhi, or Loho, or Hoho, or Soho. You know what I'm saying? Or Soleil. So for the most part, that there's things that we just didn't do. It might have been things that we exercised, practiced, or went out and did type of parties, dance parties, war parties, or exercise parties and things of that nature that we don't do on Saturday. That they came and created a whole synthetic world around that time and before beginning of the week on a micro scale. Same way we got that 7 cycle like a yearly way, and the moon phases that add once an accumulation that add that 13, not an actual 13 sign, just an accumulation of the moon cycles moving faster than the sun. So it produced an accumulation of its own energy for us to react to say, okay, this is a presence of its own. And it's how females become certain things that we raise up and stuff like that. But at the same time, it just help you understand little cycles. Well, I had another point too. Before I got into that, was my other point. Dance parties, war parties, or yeah, the Sabbath day. So they created a synthetic work job or whatever the case may be, and then for the most part, they choose a day not to do what they culture like to do. But they culture put y'all in slavery. You gotta work those days. You know what I'm saying? You got it. But it's their culture itself. Their culture is colonizing. So that's why I seem like they got some superiority or something like that. Because you're up under their culture, but their culture ain't creative. It's only to colonize and make other people do what they was already doing for them. So they had to create a system, money, and property. So once you become property by their money, then you're doing what you already doing just for them though. What's that? So once that start to fall off after a while, they had to get y'all, take y'all practices away from y'all. So y'all can only do their practice, just judging people, and then find some way to get paid to that. You know what I'm saying? That's why the world's so retarded right now. And things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? They be trying to physically play out people's gods, but because they don't believe it mentally. For an example, this is how they did us, right? This is why the new year in America is wintertime, because white man was acting ignorant and destroying all Native Americans' crops and things of that nature before we can harvest and survive when it's new after harvest season. Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, but then for the most part that'd be the raven, the snake, and the goddamn owl, the night owl. They'd take these in, they'd take all that up so we can't survive or something like that, or need them when there's a new year. So it'll keep us in a mind state of not seeing birth, because this is our spiritual system. They trying to get us detached from our land and shit. So New Year's to them is taking over land and whatever manifested destiny they was doing. So that, you know, this Mithra and New Year, George Washington manifested destiny, created the Saturnalia shit over here, worshiping the sun and the Saturn position, the Saturn sun, the sun when it's in a position of starting wintertime. Then after 3 days and at the 3 moon cycle that they took from us and shit like that, that's when it's fully in it. It's not in the chakra no more. It's fully in that energy. So the sun died, aka the soul is in another representation. It's not in the previous representation anymore. And then they act out those qualities and try to punish us because of how we telling them they're bald or the atmosphere is burning your skin. And then they say, well, we're going to burn y'all actually and burn your crop, and so you can't survive. So you're not going to have your God come back. You're not going to have your Giizis come back. You're not going to have your Jesus come back. And even if you do see the light of day in another year, your crop ain't going to grow no more. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to be on your homeland no more. We're going to move you more western. So you see, you got to understand the nuance of the shadiness the white man is doing and trying to act out the moon at times. And he trying to play the God of everything that they think you believe or some shit. You see what I'm saying? But got a misrepresentation of it or whatever the case. So that's why I always tell y'all, ain't nobody practicing no witchcraft or black sun or anything of that nature. That's lostness. You know what I'm saying? That's them trying to figure out a way to kill people and put everybody in a, like how they doing Kanye West right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that English term, but it's not even meant that way. It's them trying to take a belief, because we might have believed in like the lunar eclipse or the solar eclipse or something like that. And then they had come up with these other terms to make it an excuse, to make it seem like it was something we done. But what only happened is we motivated them to kill us. See what I'm saying? So you can see how they're doing Kanye West right now. They got Kanye West doing some extreme shit, yet he rich. So he's just used in their little game. He already know the game, to see how many people don't like Jews or something like that. So when everybody start acting like Kanye West, you the only one who start to get secretly psyoped and actually get hurt or some stuff like that. It's a weird, sadistic, sick thing white people got these other ethnicities in and stuff like that. It's like I want no parts of none of that. Don't join no industries, nothing. You make your own shit. And if them demons come trying to take your shit, or whatever the case may be, then they're on their own volition to go into hell and spirit evaporation. But leave every spirit in their own volition, on their own motivations internally. Do not participate with no reprobate. You know what I'm saying? These rappers is reprobate along with their fucking handlers. All they handlers is dragging them to hell without even understanding it, because they all just speaking English too. And then casting stones and disrespecting ancestors and spiritual predecessors and gods here and shit like that. That don't make no sense. Thank you so much for the cash app, UFI. I appreciate that from bottom heart. Shit is wild. You know what I'm saying? So Kanye West going to hell. Don't listen to nothing Kanye West got coming out his goddamn. He's a fucking foreigner. Only foreigners think like that. You know what I'm saying? So he's lost into something that don't even mean anything. But when he die, you're gonna realize it don't mean anything. Or even when he alive. Because I'm not even saying when everybody got to die. I'm not wishing that on nobody. I'm saying everybody got to do that. But everybody go through pharaoh initiations. You had one ideology you thought was the truth. It died. You realize it was retarded. It was a reprobate. It was a fart cloud ideology, or whatever the case may be. So when he realized everything he's doing is retarded, he's going to go through that internal death. And he's going to meet Hallel. And then when he meet Hallel, he's going to really look at what he's been doing, and really the same energy you've been putting into something is the same energy you got to put in to get out of it. So it's like transmuting energy. You still got to be in that tree cycle, that spirit tree cycle, but you got to be pushing it in a different direction, transmuting that energy, transforming it into a different direction. Therefore, that's the only way out of it, or you'll get swallowed up in it and stuff like that. So this is where actual sacrificing come from, not actually killing people. It just started to play out that way at times because people was going crazy and taking people's family members and stuff. But that's the internal war ground, where you have to understand the Heavenly Council, the real Heavenly Council, and stuff like that. There's things you might have to sacrifice. And those thought forms, those men, those Wicca and Weons, men and women, those thoughts and feelings you was in, that was bending in and becoming your form of what you think was intelligence, actions, adrenaline, for you to accumulate things, you might can't be able to use them no more. And when you sacrifice it there and throw it in the damn council fire, right, you can't use those thoughts and feelings that bend in and become your words and actions that was accumulating those same things that you might have to choose, because you might be so distracted in that and be like, I can't let these things go, even if it's $1 million and shit like that. You start upholding some shit, you get ready to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Because you already in hell. I'm explaining Hallel to you right now. You're in that spiritual pocket get ready at the end of winter time, when the sun is there in your mind, taking the sun reminiscences, the mental atmosphere, the mind, and making your own little home there. So now you done made a house there, and it ain't even that time of the year. Your spirit is there looking around like, I don't know if I should keep this alive or not. I got to give birth to something else, but stuff that I'm accumulating from this is the shit. So now you lost in all your imaginations and shit, all that Pisces quality and stuff, all that, you diving deep into the water, aka you just coping. You know what I'm saying? You just really on Adam's side, fucking Eve right now, and your tree ain't about to grow no good fruit from that. That's how you talk to the spirit. And I'm using English on y'all bitches. I'm using English to talk to the spirit, but your spirit getting it. Kanye West ain't even who we talking about right now. I'm describing hell to y'all right now. I'll put all y'all there in the spirit world right now so you can look around and be like, look around for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Stay there and look around for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Then you could start to see how that piece play out in a little mechanism portion of your actual environment at the moment, and where your spirit may be in that space, and where you might need to give a rise to something new. You know what I'm saying? You may have a New Year resolution right now that you ain't even started on, and we 3 months in, and it's the new year. No, it's the actual new year that you actually supposed to do it. And your ass is already spiritually in the past or something, trying to uphold and think, oh, I got to start it. I ain't started yet. I got to start it. And all of it is dead. It's just dead weight. You getting ready to be nothing else but a talker and a thinker. You ain't about to build no culture. You ain't about to do nothing. It's about to be whack. It's about to be weak. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you understand what's actually going on and talking to the spirit. Each spirit is up under these forms that's less dense. And these forms has vibrational actual direction and terminology that we can point that'll be an actual word. If you're in America right now, it's just the language of the L. I'm saying the holy ones. You know what I'm saying? Now, just so happen to be. You know what I'm saying? A lot of foreigners over here and stuff like that, but that is Native American. I said Native American languages and shit. And each tribe word for the land and the water and put it all together represent the holy ones. And holy is just a term for the condensing light. That's another term for light. And you got another term that a greater for holy four ones, you know what I'm saying, Bakantaka, you know, be in and the Hornukin, Hornukin, or however they came, or Monito, or Monita, you know what I'm saying, or Manidu, however the case may be, that'll be how you bring them together on a smaller record, or Yehovah, right? Yehovah, or Yahweh. And then once you bring that together, it got the two sides, Yahweh, Yahweh, right? And then, but that'll be on specific rivers. If you go onto the West Coast, it might be slightly different due to the fact of less water, more mountain, and stuff like that. But at the same time, right? All these words together, and then you can put it into a symbol. It'll be the image, and we can bring that face. The clouds will start to make that face in the sky and things of that nature, and it'll hover over the waters. The Father's face will be over the waters and stuff like that, and that makes that condense and become all the animals and that come from the land to the human phenotype, skin type, and tongue. And every continent was able to do that on their own. You know what I'm saying? And then if every continent was still doing that in the way of not taking over other continents, we'll be able to bring the great spirit as a big old face type thingy. But we got 6 spirits that probably ain't even supposed to be in existence and shit in existence and shit. So it's like weird. It's weird. But this is the only way and only kind of conversations you can have to know if someone tapped in and actually start to explain God, the great spirit, as an actual thing that makes sense and know that it's not a thing. So where all the nuances come from, why you can't point to something, and why you're not supposed to anthropomorphize, and the concept of why anthropomorphizing was used in the first place. So you get out of your weird dichotomies, you get out of your weird biases. You know it's something beyond you, but may not be something like you're something, maybe no thing, one of a kind. So when you think about kind, there's a such thing that there could be many kinds. That's not saying that thing is a kind. There's a such thing as there's many beings. Not to say that thing is a being. You have a distance, closeness. You have a parameter. Not to say that the great parameter is a parameter. But understanding that procedure and mechanism of words we're using based upon spiritually experiencing something and just pointing like what's greater and lesser, how we just saying it right now, right? You know that there's a teamwork makes the dream work, and we're making a thing, but without that thing itself, you wouldn't even be a piece of something to be no thing in the first place, to make no thing something. So we all have the ability to be one of a kind. And then we can bring the great one of a kind in existence. Right now, the great one of a kind, we are just the holy ones, and we're here working for it. But you know it's not the thing that you could be or it's some itself, because for the most part, you ain't responsible for everything in the goddamn world. And you see that thing don't be responsible for your actions. Yet there's certain actions you know that you're supposed to come up to do that's more relatable than unrelatable. And when it's more relatable, it get more healthy results. When it's more unrelatable, it get unhealthy results. Mentally, physically, relations-wise, and relativity, and your relatives-wise. And your ability to be relatable or not. And if you don't know how to add and build that, but without that there itself, you wouldn't be here, then you get ready to get lost in the anthropomorphizing and think you own something of that condense and become the atmosphere and the environment, and then you can go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Stop trying to fathom y'all natural things to understand something that don't even have your actual natural qualities. It's natural in itself for you to have a natural subjective concept. So y'all take y'all natural way of thinking, trying to understand some other natural process that your mechanism and procedure ain't going in that type of direction. Understand your direction for yourself. Mind your fucking business. Get your own internal energies together. They call it shadow work. Then externally, you probably could be a healthy representation. That look like when it comes to relativity, if the relations is healthy, so your relativity is better. AKA your relatives and how your relatable qualities is being played out. And that's all you need to know at the moment. Don't ask no more motherfucking questions. Don't ask no questions. That's probably the first problem, bitch. Just getting that presence. You know you're going to see the results of something outside of you being better and something inside of you being better and something you can control for yourself that can be better. And you know not to control something you can't control. And then goddamn it, if you always in that wave, the things you don't have to control and the things you can't control is in sync. Everything is positive. Everything is perfect right there. You know what I'm saying? Everything is perfect. Dun, dun. That made me want to play that song real quick. My song. Everything is perfect. I know sometimes I feel 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Da-da. Only thing to do is go with the flow. Go with the flow. I said real shit. I ain't made no video for that yet. It's like video. But for the most part, yay. Y'all say y'all gotta understand that's this the cycle about shit. And then that has a word for cycle, and it ain't cycle. You know what I'm saying? The cycle ain't the word for cycle. You know what I'm saying? Cycle will be Yehaho Suhisi. You know what I'm saying? Yehaho Yuhusi. Yehaho Yuhisi. You know what I'm saying? So then it condenses and become the water flows and all this goddamn shit. And then we can goddamn see how it's come from wind and condense and something that's still light, but it ain't the yet. Yehawaha Yahusi. You know what I'm saying? Yahawaho Luhi make Yahawaha Husi. You know what I'm saying? That come down and poof. You know what I'm saying? Poof, what was that? It's like a spirit came through that. It's the water. And when you go out and listen to the water, you know what I'm saying? It ain't going to the south and the black lands, the dark waters where the Giizis at. You hear the water. It's always scattered rain. Giizis. You know what I'm saying? Woo! Ooh. So the vibration inside your spirit created the first emotional form and throw that on to someone else. They get the whoop. They believe everything you start saying when you put it out logically. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when you tapped in with the water, bitch. You tapped into the internal water in this motherfucker shit. And I know Michael Jackson. And I know Lil B and all that shit. They going to hell. Michael Jackson already in hell. They handlers in hell. Everybody going to hell. Y'all Jay-Z going to hell. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Y'all do not know what you do. You are fools. Goddamn white fools. Oh, put it in that. Why see you? Why see you? There's why she shoot. Oh, put it in that. Something wrong with your brain. Something wrong with your brain. Sad. Something wrong with your skin at it. Well, y'all gotta understand what's going on in y'all mind states. But look, when you get tapped in, that's when you get close to God and you ain't saying words at all. Your prayers is the right way. Prey, right? Because it's ye. And you got to have the ye. That's why I always had to eat and stuff. Hey, with the ye and stuff. Because you're not going somewhere outwardly. You're going inwardly. And that's going into the holies before we even made out these outer ones and shit. And then you go to the actual heavenly council holy war grounds. You know what I'm saying? Where you pray, you hunt, because any thought and feeling is a beast. Because we ain't got no word for animal. You know what I'm saying? It's a yeast. It's a yeast. You know what I'm saying? So something that's already condensed from on the west end, but in the mind state. So you becoming aware already a holy one, making an image for the first time. So it's already pure like a baby. A baby thought is not condensed yet to be negative. So once you do that, when it start to move around, wander, your thoughts start to wander, that's when we're looking at images in the sky. Not no actual constellations, right? Now it become beast, animalistic, not really animals though. Ain't no word for animal. It's all family. Now it's beast, Giizis, yeah. And then for the most part, you be just as gentle as the dove, but wise as the serpent when you attack your prey. And that's perceived down here as what y'all call goals or something that y'all attacking. But as a desire, you're supposed to know how to treat. And if you don't know how to hunt it right, you might just run out and it attack you, or it'll run and you won't get what you're trying to eat. You won't get what you're trying to kill. You won't get what that'll feed you or replenish you. And then goddamn it, you come down here all strong and internally and shit with good charismatic gifts. You know what I'm saying? This the only spiritual mind frame to be in, or you ain't in heaven. You get ready to be a rude over in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to be dying at the hand of somebody's mental concept and book. You know what I'm saying? Even if they got to put their hands on you, you rather die by that. You don't die by some retarded shit. Because dying by that, you could die for good reasons and die for bad reasons. You can make money for dumb reasons. You can make money for good reasons. Die for good reasons, you're going to be able to come back and be able to say all the things that's going to make a person eardrum feel so bad about what something wrong, they're going to catch a heart attack for no reason and shit. Just because everything you said, they literary history starts speaking up and they trauma start to be aware of everything they done negative. You know what I'm saying? They go right to hell. You know what I'm saying? And they probably killed you in a previous lifetime. Through the new washing machine cycle, you ain't have to lift a finger. You said one thing. Watch it, you. When he start coughing, start throwing up shit like that, and then God gave him a little bit. Use his voice no more. The George Washington punk. Well, no, we say stuff like that. He probably sound like goddamn Kermit the Frog. I see my medication. I probably need my medication. Yeah, all that shit motherfuckers be talking, trying to think they own shit. You use your mouthpiece to write it down on little pieces of paper too long, God take your voice right the fuck away from you and make sure you never be able to be rap and sing and manipulate again. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. God take your breath away from you. God will take your breath away from you through the middle of the night. You can't speak no more. You got a hard time speaking. Hey, how about getting an interpreter? Saying. That's how God works. You can't just come saying names and things of that nature that don't even match the atmosphere and how the water flowing. That's making an organ hurt. That's like a blood flow going in a different direction. You get ready to get diabetes. You get ready to get a blood clot. Your ass get ready to go to the hospital, right? Don't put God in the hospital over here. You know what I'm saying? Don't put the Great Spirit in no hospital over here. You know what I'm saying? Because in that way, it don't play out good for nobody but the individuals that do stuff like that. And that goes for anybody, any ethnicity. Watching who don't mean a race. It just means anybody who got a retarded thought form that's foreign to the land. So you might even be saying a whole bunch of stupid words that ain't got nothing to do with the land. Whatever you get ready to come up with to make you think you got common sense, I bet it's self-serving. It ain't got nothing to do with being able to serve yourself and others. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It ain't got nothing to do with you being the people itself. So for the most part, it got some relatable energy. It got some monetary gain, but things can still be done in moderation. They don't got that. You know what I'm saying? So you get ready to go into greed. You get ready to get greedy about something and justify it by some coping mechanism about what you physically and mentally did, to probably forcefully in some type of way to make others feel like why it's justified, why you should be more greedy and why you should have more of what we all can have and be sharing and fair. You know what I'm saying? So those are internal qualities everybody have to understand for themselves to start to, you know what I'm saying, get back closer to God. And if you over here, it don't even make no sense to be, worshiping no man God. When y'all get in these books, y'all don't be knowing what these books about and what they're pointing to. And even a lot of the books that's written by people that got biases behind it, practicing witchcraft on you, to be able to compare and contrast and cherry pick the right way, where you take the good qualities that been helping you with your moral systems and separate from the shit that been having you up under some governance mentally to have you not even understand yourself and what you're doing, leading your own self to hell. So for the most part, even if you're on this land, it's important to even learn some of these words and things of that nature. So what I'm actually going to do, especially for young natives and everybody too, because it's also a universal language, and I'm gonna make the alphabet and all the things of that nature, and what they actually pointing to, so everybody not getting lost. And then when you use your hell-bound languages, you're utilizing it like a bitch, not utilizing it as it's the end all and be all. And these terms within it got something to do with where you're going in the afterlife and how something got to do with your internal world. Y'all be using the English language, using things that got something to do with white man's greed, that you think you're getting ready to go to a heaven about, or you think you having to do something to be a citizen about, or something like that. It's like, it's weird. It don't have anything to do with nothing. This is why you're in a kind of docile situation that you are. So what I'm gonna do, every Thursday, I'm doing a live stream, and for the private ones, it's going to be about certain words. Certain languages, but the storytelling and things of that nature. I don't want people who's not down, even with my confederation, to know, because these got things that we point to that takes us in that place that, because you know how I just took y'all to hell? It takes us there, but outwardly show you how to, you know how the movie Silent Hill is? It'd be a layer of hell, then it'd be a layer, it's like a synthetic world that you in, and then once you see things the real way, you can, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Going in that world and seeing what things actually is too, and then those is conversations and shit, and that's learning the language. So you can be able to understand what you're looking at that was always in front of you, and you're able to see that too. Then what I'm allowed for the public is just the natural things that everybody can utilize, how y'all are utilizing the English language and Spanish and stuff like that. That's going to be for that. Learn the alphabet, learn the words, so you can start putting sentences and paragraphs together. The private ones is going to be about that also, but us having long conversations in that language too, and me helping y'all and things of that nature and pointing it to you. And if I have to help you compare and contrast what that mean in English and what it's pointing to in English, and how this sound and it ain't the same vowel or anything is pointing to that same thing, and how it's more meanings behind it with this language and how it's being used for, you see what I'm saying? I'm gonna get that's for private. That's for private though. So I'm gonna get the whole world so you understand English, the Native American language, just as or the languages. But I want to. But for you to understand Native American language just as normal as you understand English, so you can also see how 75% of the English language itself is Native American. And it's just y'all, the way that y'all putting paragraphs together and how certain words is plagiarized, certain synonyms is took out and replaced with the har and a whole bunch of other stuff and just help you understand what's actually going on, all the way to the point that you don't even have to look at the Bible anymore. And when you read it in English, you'll always be able to see it how I always seen it and taught it to y'all. Even talking about the Adam and Eve and stuff like that, you'll be able to see, oh, this is a cultural practice beyond somebody snapping a word on it. And now the words on it is doing a storytelling. And now I can see who's biased and who's, you see what I'm saying? You have a, now you're in another world. See what I'm saying? Looking at a world you was always in, like, damn, I was always in a hell. Damn, I'm in the same spot I was in this whole time, just in hell, and this was another version you could be in, but you could be in the same physical position. Like Beavis and Butthead. It's just cold, though. It's cold. And this is how you never get rocked to sleep by no one either. This, just understanding stuff like this, you'll start to see things like this. So the natural way. A person might be in a certain language using a certain word, and you know before the word, spiritually they're in a certain space, had to develop a certain motivation that come from other certain reactions based off their experiences for them to even put that thing together to be in front of you, to be able to express whatever that they're expressing and want you to be a participant. And then that's, you'll be able to sit there and really clearly, with clairvoyance, compare and contrast if it's good for you or not, even if they got a bag of money, get ready to dump it in your lap. Help yourself. This is everybody. I love all this what kept me out of motherfucking jail. Still having my motherfucking culture intact. Goddamn it, motherfuckers, demons out here that know. That's one of the first things that I need to get rid of with divide and conquer and shit like that. To have you in a docile space, spiritually and physically, and then you not even knowing what's spiritual, and then you lost in a religion claiming you spiritual, but you're lost in a goddamn esoteric hell jail cell. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. But you know, I got a PhD, and you probably got it from Yale. Goddamn. Goddamn. I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. But check this out. You can go to Yale and shit like that and still be retarded. You get on YouTube for free and learn 2, 3, 4 languages and shit like that. Shit for yours truly in this motherfucker shit. And who ain't getting $1 million in this motherfucker shit? So we see who ain't fair in this motherfucker shit right now. God, but I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Flight boss, bitch, you know. For sure. You're now listening to the mind of that Terry's Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And you'll never get what's natural in no college course you just went to college debt for. And you better believe it. Y'all barely even know English.